Boom, 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 boom. What's up? What's up? How everybody doing today? How everybody doing today? Welcome to Bears Grow, man. Welcome to Bears Grow. So today we're gonna talk about germination. So today we're gonna talk about germination. All right, I hear me. I hear me. I hear me. I'm all set up. I'm all set up. So, um, germination. We're gonna learn this together. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna watch a couple videos with y'all and you know see what comes up. But yeah, this is just germination. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning. Um, yeah, YouTube give you a whole lot of different ways. So as I go through them, we're gonna learn them together. We're gonna decide which one's best for us. Then after that, we gonna next video we gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? All right, this one right here is from Weed in a Pot. Pot. These 100K subscribers. This is an old video. Look like probably about 2 years old. But let's watch him and see what he's talking about.
Germination is a relatively simple process that can be done in multiple ways, each with its own unique benefits. At its core, all that's needed to germinate a cannabis seed is to wet it. As water is absorbed by the embryo inside of the outer seed shell, it triggers the seed to sprout. The outer seed shell will also start to crack, revealing the taproot, which is the main root of the plant and used to help anchor the plant in place. As the taproot extends downwards, the rest of the seedling located inside the seed shell will start moving upwards until it breaks through the ground. It typically takes anywhere from a day to a week for the taproot to first appear out of the shell, and then another 3 to 7 days for the taproot to anchor itself into the soil before the seed can break through the topsoil. Because of this, a common technique to germinate cannabis seeds is to do it above ground to verify that the seeds are viable first before burying them. And the most popular method of doing this is with the paper towel method. The paper towel method starts with putting a sheet of thick paper towel inside of a Ziploc bag, wetting the.
Okay, now this is where things go a little sideways. Okay, the first one is look like he just put them directly into cocoa or soy or whatever it was that he was using. The second method that he's doing is just wetting the paper towel, letting them sit in there or something. I don't know. Let's see.
paper towel with some water so that the entire paper towel is wet. Drain out any excess water, and then place the seeds inside of the bag on one side of the paper towel. Close up the Ziploc bag completely, and then keep the bag in a dark space at room temperature, which is around 70-80 degrees Fahrenheit. When in storage, place the paper towel seed side down, because when the seeds do germinate, the taproots will always try to grow downwards. In this way, the taproot will not try to grow through the paper towel. By not folding up the paper towel, you get to visibly see when the seeds have germinated. And between the wet paper towel and the high humidity inside of the Ziploc bag, the seeds should have no problems triggering the germination process.
Okay, now see right here, this is another thing that kind of threw me for a loop because his is open. He didn't fold his paper towel to cover up the seeds. Well, a lot of people will tell you to cover them up. So these are just some of the things that when you searching on YouTube, you'll come across that yes, it's a lot of different ways to do this. And this is just germinating.
If the environment is too cold, the bag can also be placed on top of a seedling mat set to the low setting. Germinating a seed with this method also increases the chances of germination, because while most soils are able to retain and surround the seed with enough moisture to ensure that seed
So
germinates when
popcorn.
first watered, if the soil dries out too soon or contains a pocket of air around the seed, this can prevent the water from reaching the seed embryo, which will in turn not trigger the germination of a seed. Now, once a taproot first appears, it's best to bury it right away. This prevents the taproot from getting damaged, and it ensures that the root can start anchoring itself into the ground as soon as possible. When it comes to how deep to plant a cannabis seed, it should be buried between 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch below the ground surface. Light can now also be introduced once the seeds are in the soil, as they'll be needed when the seed breaks through the ground to guide it upwards.
See, and that's just one video. That's just one. I mean, this a lot of them out here. Let's see. Homegrown TV. I mean, it's just so. Things are. I mean, it's just a lot. I hear a lot of people say the easiest way is just to put it right into whatever you're growing in, whether it's soil or cocoa. Now the DWC thing, I've never just put a seed in DWC bucket and just let it grow. So to me, that just don't seem like something that's. I don't know. I might try it. Let's see. Let's see. What it bring up if we look for it. All right. Pirate board life. Let's see. Oh, Medusa farm. I'm like this. Let's see what he's talking about. This was the video I first watched. So got me to do my first DWC video. I don't know where she at. I don't know if she just stopped doing it, but yeah, this was the very first video I've ever watched. This one right here. DW. There it is.
Welcome to DWC. This channel is all about hydroponics, or as I like to call it, deep water culture. For those who don't know, deep water culture is a hydroponic method of plant production by means of suspending the plant's roots in a solution of nutrient-rich oxygenated water, producing 2 times more yield than you would get from soil plants if done right. On today's episode, I'm going over the method of how I'm getting one started. First, you'll need seeds, of course. I have some Pineapple Express Auto here from Barney's Farm. The way I germinate is by simply dropping a seed into water pH to 5.8.
And peep this out. That right there was one of the first things that I grew was a Pineapple Express. Actually, no, it was the second thing because I had to buy that one. But the first one was um, what was it? It was a cookies from like some seeds out. No, TAC Tones. He had a pineapple cookies. That's what it was, and it was an auto. First thing I ever grew.
Let it sit in there for 12 hours before checking if it's ready. While you wait on that, you'll need to pre-soak your rock wool. Now, rock wool comes in a very high pH, around 7 to 8. I soak mine in pH water of 3 for 6 hours. After 6 hours, lightly drain the water from the rock wool in the same bowl and soak it again. Your pH should fall between 5.8 and 6. Now, remember that seed we had soaking? Just give it a light tap and it should fall to the bottom. If not, let it soak a little longer. I don't prefer the wet paper towel method. I put my seeds straight into the pre-soaked rock wool. Now, if you don't have a cloning chamber, a Ziploc in a bowl will work fine. I let it sit in there closed airtight for 2 days. Once you see it sprout, you can open it up for fresh air. Check your seedling every day to see if roots are peeking out. If so, you're good to go by transplanting it into the DWC. The equipment I'm using for the actual DWC is a 5-gallon bucket, 2 air stones, fish tank tubing, and a dual fish tank air pump with a 6-inch net pod lid for a 5-gallon bucket. That easy. Literally, that's the whole setup. I only use 3 gallons of water in this bucket, which should bring the water level right around 1 inch inside the net pod. I throw in some hydrogen until I can barely see the water. Side note, rinse your hydrogen. This stuff is covered in dust. Place your seed in it and cover the rest of the way. The nutrients I'm using is House and Garden. They have a feeding chart to go off of, but I don't follow it exact. For the first 2 weeks, I usually give my plants half of what the chart instructs. That way, I don't burn her with newts at a young age. The pH is set to 5.8 and ppm around 170 for seedling. Even though she's an auto, I still have my light set to 18.6, humidity 50%, water temp 70, and room temp around 70 to 75 degrees. And that's it. Short video because it's that simple. You don't need much to get one started. Um, I did spend a pretty penny on my setup, but in the long run, it's well worth it, guys. Like, you can't go wrong with the higher up quality material and
All right, yeah, we ain't worried about that. Yeah, so that's how I started with my DWC, and it worked for me. And that's how I've been doing my DWC ever since. Yep, that's how I've been doing my DWC, germinate my DWC right there. That's how I've been at. And I pretty much do um um that's how I do my that's how I do my DWC. Now my cocoa, I pretty much do that the same way. Soak for 24 hours. By 24 hours, normally you'll tell them pop down. I'll just put it right in the cocoa. I soak my cocoa though for about a day. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, it ain't hard, but that's where the overwatering come in for me. So that's why I don't start in pots because I have a hard time with the overwatering situation. It kills me. My seedling stage is I have lost a lot of money in seedling stage because that's the part where I just can't get down. I'm overwatering or something, but it just don't work for me. Yeah. So I don't do that. And then I brought them AC Infinity fabric pots. Let me see. 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 I'm about to say I lost my phone, but it's still right in front of me. Look, that was all really quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Nothing went down on me. Don't tell me that. Let's see. So let's see here. I found them. All right. So these is them. So that's what I use now. But that's only if I'm using cocoa. Then that's the 1/4. Then from there I just go to the 1 gallon. Just sit that one right on top of it. It's cocoa. It'll go through. I no longer grow in soil, so it's nothing I'm worried about no more. Yeah, so that's I be trying to find something that's short where it ain't talking long about germinating. But and then I be trying to find somebody that I would watch. I don't just watch anybody. Let's go. So, read two. I don't want that. There we go. And this is a chick. I don't know who she is, but let's see what she's talking about. About germinating cocoa. But homegrown too with he grows in cocoa. So let's go.
The do's and don'ts when it
Bam.
comes to the different
Here we
methods,
go.
and what
Check
you
it
should
out.
be doing to guarantee your seed budget doesn't go to waste. We'll also show you how to plant your seed when it's sprouted and some tips and tricks to make sure your strains get off to an explosive start. By the way, thanks for tuning in for another episode. And if this is your first time, welcome to the internet's highest quality grow show, Home Grow TV, a channel dedicated to the education, entertainment, and everything cannabis cultivation related. Make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the grow movement more than you know. Anyway, that's enough self-promotion. Let's get this fucking episode rolling. Over the years, there's been a variety of different ways growers and brands recommend to sprout your seeds. And the way we sprout seeds now is totally different than the way we did it 10 years ago.
Is to either put them in a seed tray.
After trying almost every method, here's what we recommend. The cotton pad germination method. This style of germination combines the most important factors from different sprouting techniques all into one. And from what we've seen after popping hundreds of seeds, it's the only way to go. So here's how you do it. Step 1. Soak your seeds for 18 to 24 hours in a shot glass of bottled water or dechlorinated water. We just use tap water that has been out for 24 hours to let the water dechlorinate. But whatever you do, don't go over the 18 to 24 hour mark. You don't want your seeds to pads for each strain that you're germinating. Max 5 seeds for every 2 pads. Note that it is very important to use the right type of cotton pads. They can be found in most pharmacies and drugstores, but if you're like me, you're just going to steal a few from your girlfriend's makeup drawer. Take your seeds and place them inside the cotton pads. If you have one seed, place it right in the middle, but if you have several seeds, make sure you spread them out evenly. Oh, and make sure you have very clean, sterile hands when touching seeds. Step 3. Spray the pads very lightly. Literally like 3-4 times with a light mist. You want the pads to be lightly moist, not soaked. Do not pour water on them directly or overspray them. This is going to drastically slow down the process and heavily reduce your chance of success.
Hold on now. Okay, now this is something that he's the only person I ever seen do this, and from his channel, it has to work.
So again, just 3 light sprays over all the pads. Step 4. Cover the seeds with the moist side of the cotton pad, then lightly spray them again with just 2 sprays. Step 5. Take each strain and place them in their own Ziploc bag. Then give the inside of the bag just 1 final spray. Then seal the bag 75%, leaving just a small corner hole for minimal air circulation. You don't want to fully close your bag as this could cause some issues. Step 6. Make sure to label each bag. I know this sounds obvious, but trust me, it's never fun losing track of strains and having to figure out which one's which in flower. Step 7. Now, you want to place your seeds in a slightly warm and dark area for the germination to continue. Personally, I use a small box and place it in the corner of my veg tent, lift it off the ground. It gets cold at night here where I live, and that can really slow down the process. Depending on where you live, you can use a dark closet, drawer, or if it's cold, consider using your grow room in a box like I do, or buying a heating pad. After just a few days, you should see the seeds fully sprouted. These ones right here took 72 hours to sprout to this incredible size. I'm not used to them sprouting this big so quickly. I recommend definitely planting them before they get this big. So just note that not all seeds are going to look like this. Some are going to take a little bit longer, and some of them are going to have smaller tap roots. In just a minute, we're going to cover how to plant your new sprout. But first, let's talk some important facts about germination and other germination styles that we do not recommend. Note that germination generally takes about 3 to 10 days, depending on the environment, conditions, and strain, but using this method will greatly improve your speed and success rate. You see, your seeds need a perfect combination of moisture, oxygen, and temperature. And using this cotton pad method, you're ensuring that you have all these factors that some germination styles just don't have. So let's cover some of these other techniques. First is seed to soil. The most classic old school way of just straight up planting the seed in the soil, then lightly watering until it sprouts, somewhere between 3 to 10 days later. This is a proven method that a lot of great growers still prefer. But honestly, it kind of feels like I'm playing the guessing game. Not knowing when or which seeds are going to pop can just be straight up stressful. Number 2, the soak, then pop method. This is when you simply soak your seed in a shot glass of dechlorinated water until you see the taproot pop, and then it's time to plant it. Personally, I used to do this 10 years ago, and it was a semi-reliable way to germinate. But honestly, it took longer than the cotton pad method, so I just stopped sprouting this way. Number 3 is the paper towel method. This is similar to the cotton pad method, but here, paper towel is used. We've also used this method a lot in the past as well, and found relative success with about 70% germination rate or so. But honestly, I found that paper towel doesn't retain moisture as well as the cotton pads, forcing me to spray a little bit more often, and sometimes overspraying. Also, it feels like the paper towel cuts off more oxygen than the cotton pads do, which just makes the whole process take longer. That being said, feel free to experiment with these various different methods, but here at Homegrow TV, we recommend sticking with what works. Now, let's talk about what to do when your seed does sprout and how to plant it in its new home. First things first, and that's the medium you're going to use. For this example, we're going to use our homemade mix of 70% cocoa fiber and 30% of dirt mix with worm castings. We recommend adding your favorite mycorrhiza and slow release nutrient. In this case, we're going to use Mr. Q's Power Mix and mycorrhiza, following the instructions on the label. Once you got that mixed up, you're going to fill your pot of choice and poke a small little hole with a marker. Make it about the depth of the taproot plus a little centimeter or two. Make sure your hands are nice and clean, then gently place the seed into the hole and sprinkle a little bit of soil mix over top. Make sure not to cover the seed too much because that's going to slow down the process and make it harder for the seed to pop. Once you got that done, it's time to lightly spray the topsoil around your seed. You don't want to water it directly because that could move the seed and complicate your success rate. You just want to lightly spray around the area of the seed, make it nice, evenly wet, not soaked. Depending on the humidity in your grow room, you might want to put a small little plastic cup with a vent hole or two over top where the seed's going to sprout.
See, now right there, what I've come to realize that helped me out is if I wet my cocoa like the day before and then plant my seeds the next day, it, that way I'm not over watering and I don't have to water it for a couple of days. So I just soak the whole little pot that I'm using and wait the next day and then plant my seed. But that cotton pad method, I'm gonna have to try that. I've never tried it, but yeah, I'm gonna have to try it.
So this one right here we use in the example shot up just after 12 hours. But remember, it's normal for it to take on average 48 to 72 hours after it hits the soil. High humidity is important for the first few days for the seeds to sprout. So you definitely don't want to add any fans pointed directly at your seeds, and probably even for the first week or two of veg. And in no time, your little seedling's going to go from this to this, and eventually to this. So that wraps up this week's episode and grow tutorial. Make sure to share this video with your fellow growers and spread the love. We really hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week on Home Grow TV.
Man, Home Grow TV. Go check his page out, man. He do awesome video. His video quality is off the chart. Make you think you watching a real movie. Straight up. Yeah. So that's my that's, dang. I'm gonna have to really try that. Because right now I use the cotton the soak for so many hours, the 24 hours, and I put it in a paper towel. But from what he say, you get better results out of the cotton ball. So it only makes sense to try that. And then he don't close his Ziploc bag all the way. He said he leave some of it open. Well, I was taught to close it all the way. Hmm. See what I'm saying? There's so many ways to learn how to do this. Everybody has a different way, their own way of doing whatever. Whether it's tomato seeds, uh, cucumber seeds, watermelon seeds, whatever it is. What I come to realize is it all works the same way. It all works the same way. Yeah. So my first real season on here on YouTube, I'm gonna start with that method. Because now I want to see. His plants always look good. Like he actually know what he's doing. He ain't a beginner. But I am. I will always be a beginner. So now that we've learned how to germinate, in Rockwell, DWC, and soil, it seems like any way it goes. I said, and I'm gonna have to watch that video again to see if he even soaked it before he put it into the cotton pad. Because I'm really curious now. I'm really curious. We just don't. I don't know. We have to double back. We definitely gonna have to double back. Popcorn, you got some movies, bro. You got some channels. All I got is two. Yeah, man. So this was my germination. Really trying to get an understanding of it. Cause I'm tired of losing and stuff that I know I shouldn't be losing. Pretty much. So this week will be germination, and I got some stuff going already, but I'm gonna record a video on which way I pick, and I'm gonna show me doing it, and that'll be the start of my new season. We'll go from every week I drop a video showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's just what it is. You gotta be transparent. So that's my plan, is to be transparent. Let everybody see it. But all right, man, I'm about to get out of here and start my day. You have a good day. Peace, YouTube.